Hello, investors, and welcome back. Let's talk about SNDL and why this was my choice early this week and last week. I got back in this play. I want to tell you about the catalysts that are coming up, what happened today. It wasn't just SNDL that ran up, but it was all of these flower stocks across the board, and the charts were moving in the same direction. Now, in this video, I want to talk about what I expect as far as price action going into Monday of next week. So be sure to stay tuned all the way through the end of the video. Plus, I want to talk about how this is the Canadian market that we're talking about with SNDL, and I want to make sure that you understand that what's happening with this legislation is focused on the US market. And right now, SNDL does not have any potential. They're focused on what they're doing in Canada, and they're going to double down there. And some of the business segment of their investment, what they're doing with money, this could impact that side of their operation. So I would say that if this gets really out of bed, I'm going to talk about some levels where it just wouldn't make sense to not capture profits. Some of you may agree, some of you may disagree, but I'll tell you, when this runs 300, 400, 500% up, it has the potential to do that after passing legislation. Once this comes to settle down, and especially going into earnings with SNDL, it could come back down. So we've seen this happen in the past. I'm going to show you the charts. Let's get straight into it. The U.S. House of Representatives officially put the Flower Opportunity Reinvestment and Expungement Act on the list of bills set to be taken up in the House floor next week. This was previously known as the MORE Act in December of 2020 and passed at that time 228 votes to 164. 5 Republican lawmakers joined Democratic lawmakers in advancing the bill. I also want to talk about what I'm looking at in the United States. So let's take a look at what's here on the screen. Now, SNDL and Tilray were leading the pack, and you can see the advancement of this federal legislation. So this is important stuff. This is very, very good news. This was icing on the cake because what I was expecting is a positive acquisition of the Alcana transaction, which would have made SNDL and Sundial Growers one of the largest retail spaces in Canada. So that's what I was really excited about. Plus, really excited about what SNDL is doing as far as their supply chain management, getting those quality metrics up, and then also, they didn't cover a full quarter with their Spirit Leaf brand. So that retail outreach that they had for the previous 3 quarters, it wasn't a full quarter. So I'm expecting 3 full quarters of revenue, even though there is a lot of supply in the market and, not enough demand. So let's take a look and see what's happening with this legislation. Now, the House leaders have officially placed this flower legislation on the list of bills that they plan to be taken up on the House floor next week. The Rules Committee will officially take up measures in a meeting on Monday afternoon. So Monday afternoon, we've got Friday, we've got the weekend, we've got Monday afternoon, where there could be a potential spike. What you thought you seen today was good. There's more to come. I really believe there's more to come. Now, I would tell you, if you got in super late and you're in the 80-cent range, or if you're anything above, I would say 65, 70 cents, you're not mitigating your risk. I'm talking to you from a perspective of having gotten in at that 45-cent range. So about a week prior to today. So whether or not you're an investor or you're a trader, it doesn't matter as long as you're making money. Make your money. Do what you have to do. Now here on congress.gov, you can find the information as far as the voting and the last time this bill was sent out. Now let's take a look at Unusual Wells, because on their Twitter page, they said, did somebody know? Of course somebody knew. Big news, huge buy, 30,000 call, premium was placed, huge volume. Congrats to those people who followed. I've been beating the drum slightly. I don't want to pressure anybody to buy, and I don't want to make those decisions for you. And this is obviously not a sales pitch, but you got to be excited about the potential, especially if you're mitigating your risk. Let's take a look at the charts. So on the charts, I've got some resistance lines. So I want to take this top one first, and you can see right here, it says at the bottom of the screen, it's got February 8th of 2021. This goes all the way up to about $3.97, but I pulled it back. You can see here on my screen, I've got $3.62. That's coming back here to January of 2020, where it also met some resistance and being generous. I have a line of $3.62. My absolute last share will be gone out of my account. I will be divested completely out of my position if it hits 362. And I'm not telling you to sell, but if it runs up like that, these are unusual conditions, and this isn't common. This happens like once a year. These are the type of opportunities that you look for, especially when you know that you're getting into this era of cyber attacks potentially happening on the United States, a potential recession. You've got oil prices that are rising. I have two other lines that I've staked out. I've got one at $2.82 and I've got one at $1.98. Now we know our 12-month price target for this was like $1. Now if this doubles within that time period, I would say it's overvalued and you want to capture those profits. It only makes sense that I would be patient. I would step back. Now understand, if you do decide to sell out of your position, it's absolutely your decision. Your decision, you should do your own due diligence. Also, there's tax implications anywhere from 10% to 37% based on income. So be sure to look into that. Now let's drill down into this a little further. I want to go to the 30-minute chart because some of you might say, did I make a good decision with my buy today when I got into this? So yesterday, I was talking about watch the charts. You never know if this is going to do a pullback. And then enter once you confirm the trend. And right here, this green line, I've got it at 60.45, 60 cents, 45, so 6045. If you are in 61 cents and below, I would say you've mitigated your risk, and you can consider if this goes through with legislation and Alcana, because you never know if this Canadian market may want to decide to get involved in the US market once things are legalized. So I would say 61 cents and below, this is an investment. A lot of things have to happen right though. Where you place that stop loss is completely up to you. If we go down to the 5-minute chart, you could see, of course, you could have gotten in lower than that today. Not too much lower, but that was a pretty good level to put in here very early in the 5-minute chart. But this is definitely bullish, obviously, and this is staying on that uptrend. You can see very nicely, and I expect it to continue this momentum leading into next week. Now let's talk about Planet 13. Planet 13 is one that I also want on your watch list, and I don't know if you knew about these Tyson bites. Did y'all know that Mike Tyson has a line called Tyson 2.0? And there's these Tyson bites where he bit Holyfield's, Evander Holyfield's ear, and now there's some edibles called Tyson bites. I just thought that was hilarious. I wanted to leave you with that last element. Make sure you take a look at Planet 13. You want something that's in the market, in the United States market if this bill gets passed. It's good to have something in the Canadian market. I would say be sure that you're divesting your portfolio. You don't have just 100% in one location. Remember that this legislation is focused on the U.S. That's all I got. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, give the video a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.